But at the end of the day, these numbers tell the story of the folks whose sweat, work, and pride have been the pillar of our state for generations. America's dairyland is more than bushels and bales and hundredweights. It's about people. Wisconsin was raised on the land of Native Americans who came before us and built on the backs of those farmers who came after them, and survives by the hands of the kids and grandkids who are the keepers of this legacy. Yet, despite our history, this tradition has been challenged. Between 2011 and 2018, Wisconsin lost about a third of our dairy farms. We lead the nation in farm bankruptcies. We've endured the consequences of unnecessary and unproductive tariffs and trade wars. And we've heard people who've said there's no place for small farms anymore. They ought to go big or bust. Well, they are wrong. They don't know Wisconsin. And in this state, no one carries the burden alone. We have leaned on farmers and their families. We have depended on their dedication, and we relied on their resilience. We have not forgotten those who have shared the harvest and bounty, feeding our families, our communities, and our state and our country for more than a century. And tonight, we say that we are ready to be a partner in the promise of posterity. I'm announcing a three-pronged plan to start addressing these challenges. First, tonight, I'm calling a special session of the legislature next week to take up legislation to invest in our farmers, agriculture industries, and our rural communities. The package of bills we'll announce tomorrow includes a bill creating the Wisconsin Initiative for Dairy Exports. We have to start maximizing the efficiency in our small and middle-sized farms, and we need to build Wisconsin's dairy brand in international markets and increase dairy exports. So we're going to Gesundheit too. So we're going to set a goal of increasing Wisconsin's dairy exports by 20% of the United States milk supply by the year 2024. Additionally, we're going to expand our farm center and increase staffing at the UW Extension to ensure that farmers and agriculture industries have partners and support closer to home. At the same time, we're also going to work to get the food our farmers produce to the tables right here in Wisconsin. So we're not only going to bolster our Farm to School program, but we're also announcing our Farm to Fork program that will help connect our farmers and the food they produce with our universities, our technical colleges, our hospitals, and local businesses across the state. Finally, we're going to create a new program that will focus on getting our farmers access to mental health services in Wisconsin. Our farm center is doing important work in this area, but we know folks are really struggling and they need access to those resources closer to home. Our mental health program will assist farmers in accessing mental health support. They will also help coordinate local and regional peer support programming and provide confidential one-on-one counseling and assistance to our farmers. The second prong of our plan is ensuring that investing in farmers, agriculture, and rural communities is part of our broader economic development strategies. So tonight, I am also announcing that I'll be working with the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation to establish the Office of Rural Prosperity. The office will provide a one-stop shop for the folks to navigate state programs and the resources that are available that are tailored to rural communities, businesses, and workers. Finally, the third prong of our plan is to develop long-term strategies on this issue, not based on what folks in Madison think is best, but based on the feedback and input from folks all across the state. So tomorrow I'll make good on my campaign promise to create a Blue Ribbon Commission to help promote agriculture and rural economic prosperity. Our Blue Ribbon Commission on Rural Prosperity will convene folks in different industries from across the state. They'll work together to develop a long-term strategy on how we can best support the needs of rural Wisconsinites and rural communities. Some of these proposals aren't new. Many of them are a form of what I proposed in my budget that were unfortunately taken out. But here's the bottom line, folks. We're losing more than 2 dairy farms a day. And for each day we delay, the challenges will get harder and harder. So I want to be clear. I'm not under any misguided belief that what I'm proposing today is a silver bullet. In the coming months, it's going to take more listening than talking to hear from our farmers and our rural communities about how we can continue to invest in agriculture and rural prosperity across our state. But we have to start someplace, and we'll start tomorrow.